Hey guys, Mike Chen here. When I say mermaids, what comes to mind?
Gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
Yeah, that's what we want them to look like, but in actuality, if mermaids do exist, wouldn't it make sense that they're kind of like a fish? Nasty, scaly, slimy, maybe a little slippery. Their hair's probably not that flowy because it's been soaking in salt water like forever. Mermaids have been a subject of fascination for centuries. Cultures from all around the world all seem to have mermaids in their folklores, all with very similar descriptions. But do they really exist? Skeptics, of course, are many, but there are also those who believe. So here's my list of the top 7 mermaid sightings from around the world. Christopher Columbus, of all people, has reported sightings of mermaids while he was out at sea. Here's what he said about mermaids. They were not as beautiful as they are painted, you think? Although to some extent, they have a human appearance in the face. And of course, there is that theory that sailors, after months at sea, mistook manatees to be mermaids. Okay, I personally don't buy that theory because have you seen a manatee before? How much rum do you have to drink to make this look like this? Here's another credible source. Henry Hudson, the explorer and discoverer of the Hudson River, records seeing a real mermaid near Russia. He wrote in his log, quote, 2 crew members, Thomas Hellies and Robert Rayner, sighted a mermaid at 75 degrees 7 degrees north and shouted at the rest of the crew to come and look. Hudson further recorded it as having a tail of a dolphin and speckled like a mackerel. In 1943, at the time of World War II, several mermaids were spotted by Japanese soldiers on the shores of the K Islands in Indonesia. They reported seeing them swimming in the water and one on the beach. A description of the one sighted on the beach is as follows: roughly 4 feet 9 inches tall, pinkish skin, human-looking face and limbs, spikes along its head and a mouth like a carp. When Japanese Sergeant Taro Horiba heard news of a dead mermaid that was washed ashore, he went to examine it. After seeing it with his own eyes, he became a believer and he was convinced. So after he returned to Japan, he urged scientists there to go and study such mermaids. Can you imagine this? A soldier comes back from war, the first thing out of his mouth is, "Hey, I saw a mermaid, can you guys look into that?" Of course, no research was done because they thought he was insane. A sighting occurred when tourists who were on a ferry saw a woman with the tail of a dolphin. She was described as having beautiful blonde hair and was seen eating a salmon. This story was reported in the Times colonist newspaper and drew a lot of attention, but no one has since seen that mermaid again. Okay, let's say this report was true. Here's what it tells us about mermaids. They are able to have beautiful flowy hair underneath the ocean. I was wrong. Maybe they snuck a bunch of shampoo and dragged it to the depths of the sea, and evidently they like sushi. But here's what's disturbing about this story. Let me know if you disagree with me. I just find it kind of morbid that a half-fish being is munching on another fish. I mean, I get it. Big fish eat little fish. Isn't there something a little cannibal-ish about this whole thing? About 30% of the remains of an unknown human-like creature were found in the belly of a dead great white shark in southern Africa. The body was then examined and it was determined to have hands and a humanoid skull. A barb was left jammed in the shark's jaws, and this is claimed to be a mermaid's weapon. But I know that's not true because mermaids only use tridents. Everyone knows that. Alright, this story is kind of funny. Mermaids have been sighted on a number of occasions in Zimbabwe. It claimed that efforts to complete the building of dams were delayed by mermaids. Apparently, mermaids had harassed construction workers when they were trying to install water pumps. How are they harassing construction workers? Were they making catcalls? Were they splashing water on the construction workers with their tail? Minister Nkomo was reported as saying in Zimbabwe's state-approved Herald newspaper that, quote, "The officers I have sent have vowed not to go back there. We even hired whites thinking that our boys did not want to work, but they also returned saying they would not return to work there again." Okay, if you want to make some money and you believe in mermaids, here is the perfect gig. In Kiryat Yam, Israel, this is the only place in the world where a $1 million reward is up for grabs for the first person who can provide conclusive footage capturing a real mermaid. And this reward isn't given by some local hack. I mean, this is a government-sanctioned reward because there has been numerous mermaid sightings there. Now, allegedly, there is a mermaid that appears sometimes at sunset. So here's the clip of that.
What is that? Oh my God! What is that?
Okay, so here's the deal with me. Do I believe that mermaids exist? I want to say yes. Why? Because here's the thing. 95% of the world's waters, oceans, rivers, everything are unexplored. We don't know what's in there. Can you definitively tell me that mermaids don't exist? How would you know? Because we haven't explored most of the world's oceans. There's so much out there. I mean, there could be mermaids, there could be the Loch Ness Monster, there could be mermaids hanging out with the Loch Ness Monster. Who knows? There could be a whole civilization of mermaids underwater. We don't know because we never seen it. Just because we haven't seen it, can we discount it? I don't think so. Also think about this. Throughout history, civilizations all around the world, now they all have tales of mermaids and they all describe them about the same way. Now, this is a time when cultures had no communication amongst each other. It's not like in 100 BC, China's holding a mermaid con and everyone's dressed up as a mermaid walking around because, you know, it's mermaid con 100 BC. You gotta have your cosplay. And ladies and gentlemen, that's where cosplay came from. 100 BC, mermaid con. So how are they all coming up with the concepts of mermaids? I don't know, but that's something to think about. But let me know what you guys think. Do you believe that mermaids do exist? Let me know in the comments below. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel.